This is the Can Crushers Wrestling Podcast.
The following contest is scheduled for one fall.
Let's go nuts! It's Jimmy Nuts! Right out of the door!
With your hosts, Mark Martinez.
Because I'm the Mark and I'm awesome!
The Guru.
Today I'm going to break it down for all you simpleton sweat hogs listening out there in Can Crusher Nation. I don't mean to come out here week after week and toot my own horn, but toot.
And the English Professor.
It is I, the English professor from the County of Kings, speaking the English of the Queen.
Hey, this is former WWE superstar Duke, the Dumpster Drosy, and you are listening to the Can Crushers Podcast.
And welcome back to another Can Crushers. This one's a spotlight, not an interview, but a recap with my homeboy, the English professor, in his office. I'm excited because it's IWC Winner Takes All. And welcome to the show, Mr. English Professor. How are you doing?
I'm doing all right, Mark. So we watched the latest edition of IWC. I saw it on the network live as it was happening. And you saw it maybe a day or so later.
I did. When you were watching it live, I was getting jiggy with it at a wedding. So I watched kind of the edited version of it, and not much difference, but our homeboys, and homeboy must be the word of the day because it just keeps popping in my head all of a sudden, John. I don't know why. Jeremy from 2-to-1 Media, as soon as the event was over, I'm telling you, this was Saturday night at like midnight, saying, don't blow me up because there's not a lot of drone video. Because I didn't know, and apparently talking to you off air real quick, you didn't know that it was raining for the first 4 or 5 matches.
No idea.
The drone was getting soaked, is what he told me, and the droplets on the camera would have looked stupid, of course. The way I'm saying it would have looked stupid, so he kind of waited to the rain, and then he spliced everything together. So when I first noticed the drone, it was when Remy came out. He had Remy kind of come into the ring, so that's much later in the card. But Jeremy knows I'm a big fan of the drone. 2-to-1 Media, always awesome. Look what they did for us in our entrance song, our intro song. So we have to give them props because, John, you watched it live. These guys are fucking good.
Yeah, they do a good job. They really do. We took them to task a while back over some hiccups, I guess, but it's a tight show. They do a nice job.
Yeah, and I like now that they're throwing teasers out, because before watching this, there was a teaser for me to see on Facebook, like a highlight reel or a little bit of what went on. And first and foremost, John, let me say, I told you so. And we'll get there. But I told you so, and you should realize what I mean by that about guy number 5. I told you so.
Okay.
Yeah? No?
No.
You don't know what I'm talking about?
I don't. Guy number 5.
Yeah, with Plummer, Team IWC.
Oh, yes.
I told you so.
I did, yeah. Okay, we'll get there.
Okay, we'll get there. All right, so first match of the night is a 4-way tag team match for the championships. It's Money Shot against Main Event, Steak and Eggs, and Hardcore Hammer Time. I'm going to bitch right off the bat the Plummer. Right off the bat, the Plummer. Hardcore Hammer Time deserved a one-on-one match against Money Shot. The other teams have had their chances to win it back. They need to come back from the realms of the tag team division. Hooven and Jameson should have had a one-on-one match here. Nonetheless, this is what we get, and it was a pretty awesome match. But I also want to throw it out to Steak and Eggs coming out dressed up as the Road Warriors. Kind of a tribute to Animal. I love that.
That was pretty nice. Yeah, I enjoyed that. So the listeners are probably used to, for the most part, one of us saying something and then the other one or two tending to agree are always at least 2-1.
Media? 2-1 media?
Exactly, yeah. I'll give them another plug. This episode, this spotlight, may be a little different. Mark and I are of differing opinions, I think, overall on this show. I'll agree that I would have liked to have seen Hooven and the Hammer have their own title shot. I think they've earned it. Gambino said that on the last show. These guys deserve a title shot, and he's right. You guys know I hate these sorts of matches, and I hated this one. I didn't like it. It got a little better as it went on. For the most part, I just didn't care for it. I like all these teams. A big fan of the main event. I think Money Shot is special. And, I've told you guys about the layers, good, very good, great, and special. I think they're special. I don't think they were given a chance to really shine in this match. I just would like to see one of these matches, just once, where someone doesn't fly out of the ring. That sort of thing where you got 6 guys kind of waiting around. It just doesn't look good. It doesn't look good.
That was my downfall. That was my downfall of this match. At one point, they did 3 spots of jumping out of the ring, off the top. Bulk faked one, and then Jamie did a somersault. That was 5 minutes of chaos of just guys hugging and everything. I mean...
And by that point, it soured it for me. It could have been 5 stars after that. But when you do that sort of stuff over and over again, sorry to interrupt you, by the way, but it's one of those things that we've said before. One of our complaints is everybody waiting around to get their turn. And that's what it looked like.
I did like the double cannonball from Nydstrom and Mandime into the corner. I believe it was on Bulk. That's gutsy. That was pretty gutsy. Nydstrom, I'm telling you, we love Mandime. We love Mandime. He made an appearance on AEW last week as a clown. Last night he fought Wardlow on AEW Dark.
That's awesome.
So it was great. It's great. I love what he's doing, but Nydstrom he's got that it to me. He's just got that it. There's something about this kid that, the sure shot, Mr. Fundamental, whatever the hell they're calling him. I liked him. I did like the flea flicker, though, by the main event. That was locked and loaded right off the bat.
Yes.
The match didn't get as down and dirty as we thought, so.
No, it didn't. Not much of a spectacular ending either.
No.
No.
Not really. The flea flicker, and then Nystrom just slides in and takes the pin away from the main event. I mean, nothing. It's not like they cheated. It's not like, we didn't even mention Dime Piece, because Dime Piece was kind of just on the outside. That's that's a third of Money Shot, and Dime Piece didn't really get involved that much, which that sours it for me and Soup and you and, all of us that she was just there. She didn't, I hate to say it, she didn't do much, and that upsets me.
Especially after being gone the last show because she was on suspension.
Right.
And maybe that's why she didn't interfere as much, because if she's already been suspended once, she probably was minding her P's and Q's.
Well, we'll have to see. We'll have to see what comes out in a couple shows.
Yeah, one other quick thing about this. I know we talk about AEW and what they do to showcase their tag teams. They do some different things to keep reminding you of all their great teams. Maybe that's what the goal was with this match. We're going to show you all the great teams by putting them all in one match. I didn't love it.
Touche. Next matchup was Cole Carter against Christopher Michael Lotus. This is where I actually noticed the rain. I actually put a bitch of a rain in the air tonight. I don't know what that means, as I was I meant bit probably, but of course, Lotus controlled most of the match. He was worried about the fans. I couldn't get into this match. I like Cole Carter. I like what Cole Carter has done the last 2 times that we saw him. Lotus was kind of a crowd killer for me.
I'm with you there. Carter, he took on big time last time. Is that correct?
Correct.
Yeah. Again, this kid is very good. I think the opponent last time was probably a better opponent for him. Brought out, very good stuff in Carter. So coming from that to this, yeah, this did not live up to his last match. Whether that's based on the opponent or whether that's his own performance, I don't know. Just another one that for me was kind of a dud.
Carter gets a win with a cutter. As Lotus was coming, he just hit a cutter. So this might be a quick spotlight because some of the matches were just like there's nothing that really, boom, came about. We'll make up time in a little bit. Don't worry.
Yeah, and chin up to Carter because you're really good. If you're listening, we think you're very good. Maybe this is an experience, a learning experience. They can't all be winners. There's a dud every once in a while.
And just because when I put the bitch of a rain or whatever the hell that means in my notes, that might have changed game plans across the board.
Sure.
Too, because ropes are wet. We've seen people duff it off of ropes before, a little more ground and pound, which that's maybe not Carter's game. So I always put something weather. And I was worried about it. And, barring the wedding anyway, I don't know, because October outside wrestling, Christ, it could have snowed, John. It could have snowed. Next matchup, we get the Lebanon Dawn and Tito Ork taking on Fire It Up, new tag team, which is the Sexy Fireman and Sean Phoenix. John, $400 was offered just to walk away. That $400 walk away from the match. Would you have taken it?
I'd have held out. I don't know. At least $5,
Right, $250 apiece.
Yeah.
Well, Phoenix takes the money and then he wants to burn it. And Sexy Fireman puts it out. Their tag team's fired up, so you would think they're ready to burn shit down. Nope.
Right.
Sexy Fireman, he's putting everything out. Not doing this.
It makes you wonder how they teamed up in the first place because they can't get on the same page about how they feel about Fire. What kind of team are they going to make?
Well, you saw that the Lebanon Dawn and Tito Ork. Tito Ork is a beast.
Yes.
He is a beast. And it looks like Sean Phoenix has an injury now, too. Another wrist injury coming out of the match. As we see later on in the night, Phoenix does make another appearance, and his wrist is all taped up.
Yeah, hopefully nothing serious. But again, as I mentioned before we came on the air, I had no idea it was raining, so I would imagine that played a big factor.
This match wasn't for me, though, John. This was just Lebanon Dawn and Tito Ork beating the snot out of those guys. A lot of outside the ring stuff in this match. So far, I'm really only jonesing about one of these matches.
Yeah. Nothing of which to speak, really, in this match. I like the Lebanon Dawn. I like the character. I like Tito Ork. I like them together a lot. I think there's something there. Whatever it is, though, I didn't see it in this match. I really didn't.
Next matchup with a high-stakes championship match. It's RC Dupree taking on Mambo Italiano. Finally, after months, getting his return bout for that high-stakes championship. Mambo's been in match, but he's never had the old one-on-one match for this championship after he lost it. And this soured me again, John. This soured me again because when you think of high-stakes championship match, you think of Tijuana Death Match or the artist formerly known as Dylan Bostic match, whatever. Just random stupid matches where there's so many stipulations.
Variables, yeah.
You don't know what's going on. RC says this is just a normal one-on-one match.
Well, maybe, because in the painting on an easel match, there's no champion's advantage there. And we talked about this last time. Maybe he wanted the champion's advantage. Like, hey, if I'm DQ'd, I keep this belt.
True.
Maybe that was his thinking.
Maybe I was thinking. I'll call out Mambo right now. Mambo, one, I'm going to say it again. You have to have your music come back as, hey, Mambo, I understand, whatever. Just bring it back once at least for us. And your perfect plex was awesome. Just make sure you keep up your shoulder because you were almost down for the count too. I watched that. It was really close. There.
Great point. And I think we brought this up on Sunday's show because either Nick or Joe informed us that Mambo Italiano had a couple of appearances. We saw him just as Antonio Di something or other. I don't remember. But apparently he was also taking Thatch's Thatch Can classes.
You just returned from your Thatch's Thatch Can classes, didn't you?
I did.
I figured. That's what I've been waiting for.
Stretched out. Yep.
Did you get stretched out?
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah, you feel good though?
Yeah, I feel all right, yeah.
Good. Another match that, again, I don't know. I really hate that Winner Takes All is usually something that carries us over to the next year. It's a big something to do, and Winner Takes All 2020, it picks up now in the next match.
It's like a lot of things in 2020, though, right? I mean, what a lousy year, but it's picking up now a little bit towards the end of the year. So this card followed suit. It started off a little, but now it's about to pick up.
Yeah.
I know we're going to disagree, but we're on the same page. We are like minds.
We are very like minds. We really are. Next matchup, Spencer Slade against A1. I don't know how many times I've said this since he's made that turn at Base Brawl. I love this new attitude with Spencer Slade. There's nothing wrong with this. What he does in the ring now, just a Kurt Angle, a Brock Lesnar, and I don't know, maybe a little Nikita Koloff, Mr. Perfect. Yeah. You know, he's got all those guys just gelled, and he's coming to himself all of a sudden. Yeah. And no disrespect to A1 because we love him as well.
Absolutely. The change is subtle, but it's enough. He's still getting in all his great moves. You know, I want to throw out the Iron Sheik a little bit too because he reminds me of him. He wrestles like he does in that he does all the scientific stuff. He gets all of his suplexes in without making it look like, you know, now it's my turn to do this suplex. But then he heals it up a little bit with just maybe a kick. Nothing too dastardly, but he does a move. Yep, I got dastardly in there. And then he just kind of stands over his opponent. So, you know, the baby face might have done a move, then boom, go for a pin. The bad guy's like, nah, I know I have him right where I want him, so I'm going to do a move and maybe embarrass him a little bit. This was the first match for me that told somewhat of a story. I think that's where the first few matches lacked, is just no beginning, middle, or end. It was all just kind of mashed together. This followed a story, not a pattern, but a story.
Yeah, it's sticking with the Spencer Slade, you know, turn a little bit. I'm gonna pause there for a second. We know Spencer Slade also works with Imagine, and recently, I want to throw this out for people that don't know. Congratulations to Spencer Slade as he made about a week ago. I completely forgot to say this on a Sunday show, but congratulations to Spencer Slade for making his first appearance in OVW. I wonder how he got connected with them.
I don't know.
Well,
do I? Anyway.
Do you?
I don't know. Maybe I do. Maybe I'm just not saying.
Maybe you're not.
This is a very good match. Both of these guys.
Great futures.
Really good.
Great futures in the wrestling business across the board. I can't wait to see what both of them do. Slade kind of second year. A1 first year. Just coming out. This could be a feud that, you know, I love watching the Man Diamond against Johnny Patch. I love watching, Jimmy Nuts against McChesney. Palace against LaRusso. This is that next era. I think I could watch Slade against A1 over and over and over in IWC.
To your point, both guys very young and very new to the game, and they're already putting on this quality of match. It can only go up from here. And by the level of quality and storytelling that I'm talking about, there is a little bit of everything, and it left you wanting more. They sprinkle in some stuff, some high-flying stuff. You have the suplexes I mentioned earlier. You have the grappling. Really nice stuff, start to finish.
Nick Lendl says they find out that, Plummer comes out first. Let me just say it like this. Plummer comes out first, and, he does his shtick. Hey, we're here tonight, da-da-da-da-da. But the fifth guy's not there. He's stuck in an airport or something. I love that he's wearing his Britsburg shirt. So that's kind of a leak right off the bat in my book of who's to come. If you read into it as much as we do. So I'm like, oh, okay. Yep. Okay. And now I already made the prediction 2 weeks ago who I thought it was. So Plummer says that. And then Lendl stands up. He's like, oh, I'll get out there and I'll be the fifth guy. I'd love to see Nick Lendl out there. No disrespect, yeah. Nick. I'd love to see what he can do. Maybe he'd look better than Plummer. Maybe he'd look like me or you. Probably me. Because you at least grapple.
He couldn't do worse than the limo driver for the Lebanon Don.
No, he couldn't. This is true. So Lendl giving him a shout out. Next up, we have Remy LeVay against Alexander Apollo, and the drone is working. So this is where the drone starts to work, and Jeremy from 2-to-1 Media brings it around again. And for anybody else, it's me. I told Jeremy at one point talking, I'd like to see him get it in the Court Time Sports, and clearly it's dark in there. You wouldn't be able to do it. He might cut off some heads. He's worried about stuff like that. I said, hey, it's a price that people have to pay sometimes, right?
Absolutely.
Get the damn drone in Court Time Sports.
Yeah.
John,
I like this.
I was going to say, I'm going to let you run with this because I know you like this match.
I really did. This was one of Remy LeVay's better matches. I enjoyed this a lot. Stick to your strengths. Kicking, stomping, choking, gouging, whatever, Let me see something different than I've seen up to this point. Every match ought to tell a different story. The Anthony Young match certainly told one, and this told something different. Remy LeVay looked tenacious. I enjoyed the heck out of this. I thought the Greek kid, Apollo, again, so new and fresh and young to this business and looks good. Like I'm constantly pleasantly surprised at the talent that the school pumps out. I imagine he went through IWC's training program like a lot of the other young talent that's on there.
I would imagine. I haven't spoken to him yet, but I would imagine.
Right. They're doing a good job. These men and women are getting in the ring ready to go. A bit of an omen after the match, too. After Apollo gets the win, Remy, I don't know if this was on the edited version or not, but looks into the camera. And I don't remember exactly what he said, but pretty much there's going to be hell to pay. That these guys are coming for Apollo.
And I'm excited. I've been excited since January, honestly, when Atticus won the Reloaded briefcase, computer, whatever the hell we're calling it. And then since then, I know, yes, COVID hit, but Atticus, scheduled, and then he gets hurt, so he's not around. I'm one that I don't want to have it in WWE or IWC. I don't like it being used the same night, but I want it used by the end of the year. And again, there's been some times that this needs to happen. I mean, Reloaded is literally right around the corner in January. I mean, what, does he use it and then the match starts again at Reloaded? Or, who the hell knows what's going to go on in 2021 in wrestling? But he's got maybe November, December if the Regulators don't win.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. There is a point where, like you said, you don't want it used right away. You want some anticipation to be built. But at some point, then you kind of forget about it a little bit. You just wish the guy would cash in already. But maybe it's like you say, maybe by the time the next one rolls around, there's something that happens there where, he cashes it before the next person gets it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know. But
you better use it quickly, though.
You better use it quickly. But the culmination, man, again, we're beating the hell out of COVID. As we'll rewind here in a second, John, because we didn't mention something that we really wanted to. We said it off air, but we have to rewind. COVID has screwed up the whole culminations year because I think they would have taken over IWC, essentially. At the beginning of the show, that's where we want to rewind to.
Yes.
The beginning of the show started off with some COVID stuff, and I know I just got done bringing it up and how it sucked and everything. I thought it was stupid. Plummer, guys, everybody, I'll just throw it out there. I thought it was stupid. Stop already. Yeah,
it was an intro. Listeners, for those that don't know, it was like an intro to the show that talked about the effects of COVID-19. Nothing, let's be honest, nothing overly serious. They didn't talk about a million infected, 200,000 dead, nothing like that. But just that businesses have been shut down and how difficult it's been on businesses. Including IWC. But to your point, Mark, yeah, I thought it was kind of in poor taste. And I don't want to steal your thunder, but when we talked about this before, what did you say? You said, I don't want to be reminded, right? This is my escape.
Right. I want to come out to a wrestling event and, okay, yeah, if I have to sit there with a mask on, I know how to wear a mask anymore. I'll sit there with a mask on, I'll forget that it's on, and I'll still enjoy that I'm in a wrestling event. Okay? I don't need to hear the numbers or anything like that. Well, I bitch about it every time that JR says it on AEW. And we're wearing our mask and sanitizing our hands. Good. Good. I'm glad you're doing it, but I'm watching you a million miles away on my TV screen. I don't care. And I don't mean it that I don't care about your personal health or anything like that. I'm watching it because I want to watch wrestling.
Absolutely. 100% agree. I don't think it was necessary for any story, really. I mean, it kind of ties around together at the end when they talk about where their next card's going to be. But overall, I don't think the intro was necessary. I don't think it forwarded anything. I mean, if I try to stretch here, they've been outdoors with the cars that you can pull up to the ring. Now they're at a baseball field. Again, I'm spinning my tires here. It kind of wraps around at the end where they say, hey, next time we're going to be, and we'll get to that. But beyond that, it didn't add much to the story. I didn't think it was necessary.
I agree. Next matchup is the Super Indie Championship match between Brian Pillman Jr. and Johnny Patch. Patch kind of getting his rematch following Super Indie. That, he was going into Super Indie as champion, kind of lost it. Pillman Jr. won it that night. These guys are both great. You've heard we love Johnny Patch. Pillman's a star. John, I'm going to steal your thunder now. We both said this. There's something about Pillman Jr. that neither one of us can grab yet. He's been in MLW. He's been in AEW. There's just something that I'm like, and we might be the minority, an Italian and a Mexican. Imagine that, minority. But I just don't know that I'm just not there with Pillman Jr. yet.
Yeah, he's missing something. Talent in the ring, no question, it's there. This was a fine match. I'm not sure what it is either. Yeah. I'm not sure what as JR would say, whatever the hell it is, the it factor. But I don't know what it is. There's just something missing about him. The work in the ring is fine. This match was very good. I like their style because they can do the high flying stuff. And believe it or not, these guys are both bigger than Austin Theory.
What?
Thicker, stronger. Yeah. Not to go off on a tangent, I love Beth Phoenix. I really do. I wasn't watching a lot of wrestling when she was working. I've gone back and watched her matches. I think her commentary is second to none. I will never let her live down the fact that she said someone the size of Austin Theory. Ever. All right. These guys remind me, and not because of a name or anything, but like a Brian Pillman or a Z-Man Tom Zink, guys that can do the high-flying stuff, but are also built, also a little thicker, a little more muscular.
Jim Powers. I always think of Jim Powers when I think of Johnny Patch.
Excellent comparison. Absolutely. Yeah, they can strike pretty hard. This was a fine match.
It was.
Good match, title match in the middle of a card.
Pillman keeps the title. John, I have a question for you now. Where's Patch go? He's got to regroup. He's got to regroup now. He's he's Soup's favorite. He's got to rebound. I don't know what's up with him.
I trust the powers that be. They'll come up with something good for him. He needs to enter a serious feud. I think a villain needs to do something really dastardly. We talked about
2 in one show.
Yeah. 2 dastardlies on one show. We talked about Remy LeVay with the warning after his match. So we may see something there. I think we need to see something where somebody, puts a beat down on Johnny Patch and kind of forces him, kind of like we saw with the Spasmanian Devil.
Palace
and Jock Samson, that feud. That brought out a side of Palace we'd never seen before. I think we need to see something similar with Johnny Patch.
Next matchup is Katie Arquette taking on Ella Shea with Chase Gold. John, I'm a tea-sipping bitch, or I'm a wannabe tea-sipping bitch. Ella Shea, we've seen 3-4 times now. She's got it. There's something about her. I love tea time with her. I love booty time with her. She's got that it for me, that she's going to go somewhere.
I absolutely agree. And, I knew she hadn't been at it long. And then you hear Nick and Joe and you're reminded that she's a freshman in the wrestling business.
Yeah, essentially.
That's unbelievable. That level of talent. Before I go any further, this was the match of the night for me. This is my favorite match. I loved the grappling at the beginning, the hold for hold. Can't go wrong with that. You start a match with that, it's probably going to be very good.
A nice collar and elbow lockup.
Yes. Yeah. Very good collar and elbow lockup. Yeah. Some hard strikes in this match. I'm a big fan of Katie Arquette, and the level of storytelling here kept me guessing. With the constant interference, I didn't know who was going to win. And I thought, oh, no, don't tell me Katie's going to lose this match to Ella Shea. She pulls it out at the end, but had Katie lost, I'd have been upset, but it would have made perfect sense with the flow of this match. This was one that could have gone either way, and it kept me guessing the entire time.
Yeah, it was tea in the face of Ella Shea, by Chase Gold, and Katie gets the win. We've spoken to Katie before. She's a wonderful human being. She's got to be on Raylan's, Raylan has to be on her target now. Raylan having a title for over a year now. Katie's got to be, sniffing right there saying, I need another shot, because where has Raylan been? She was at Super Indie, but Katie's there all the time. It's just what's going on.
And the commentary, along with Katie's body language, she didn't really say anything, but just her body language told us that there's a title match on the horizon, that Raylan is next, and she better be ready. And that's why, for me, this was the match of the night. Aside from the great athleticism in wrestling we saw, they both used all of their assets, their eyes, their facial expressions, their bodies, to tell us a good story. And I like Ella Shea's Russian leg sweep neck breaker. Now, we've seen it again. It's a go-to move. She does it well. I'd like to see maybe 1 or 2 more things added to that, but I want to see those things that I look for in an Ella Shea match. And the neck breaker is one.
My goal is to contact Ella and get her on a spotlight, and we'll just run her through the gamut of, who her favorites were, because that leg sweep looks like Bret Hart's, John.
That's what I was thinking. Yeah.
So just saying, I figured you'd be all about that, being part of the Hart Foundation that you were.
Yeah, maybe we have the same favorite wrestler, she and I.
Maybe. Then we get to the main event. It's the Regulators. It's going to be 5-on-4 because the fifth man is stuck somewhere in an airport, in the bullpen, somewhere. Nobody knows where he is.
Yeah.
Or her is. Or somebody. Because we don't know.
We don't know who it is.
And the guys are down. They're worried. Joe has been with the business. Dombrowski, the whole time IWC. He doesn't want to lose his job. Nick's pissed off. He's still ready to fight. So these guys are just ready to get it on. And the Regulators come out, and then there's a lot of pomp and circumstances once the IWC guys come out. Like, the Regulators just stood outside for 5 minutes while they did the whole IWC chant for the longest time. I thought that was a good time the Regulators needed to come in and just knock some heads. But they didn't. They let them get pumped up for this match, and I think it hurt them in the end.
Yeah, I think they took this too lightly. I'm not saying they were right to take it lightly. Maybe I could understand it, because you're talking about a mishmash of guys. And I like the combination. Of we had Big Time, we had Andrew Palace, and we had Jack Pollock, and of course Justin Plummer. But you look at the three wrestlers in that match, none of those guys really go together.
Or get along.
Palace and Big Time had a fantastic match of the year candidate, in my opinion. And you throw Jack Pollock in there. He, I thought, had burned some bridges in IWC, didn't have a friend in the world. Kudos to him, though, for stepping up for Team IWC, Jack Pollock. So I like that team, but it was a mishmash of guys. On the other side, you had the Regulators, who probably had a game plan coming in. So maybe that's why they gave them that opportunity to kind of get ready. But you're right. They probably should have jumped the gun there and gotten a head start.
They fought all over the ballpark. We're not going to break it down completely, but they fought all over the ballpark. A great game plan by the Regulators. They took out the biggest guy first. Boom, call, you're gone. Cheap moves, but they did what they had to do because the referee just pretty much threw the rules out the window for this match.
Yeah. The eliminations surprised me. The order of the eliminations for Justin Plummer's team. The order of eliminations for the Regulators didn't really surprise me, but there were some nice plot twists in the eliminations on Justin Plummer's team. You're right. For Bill Collier to go first was a huge surprise, and really set them back. We see Jack Pollock kind of step it up and show a lot of heart. I thought there was going to be some shenanigans at the end between him and Plummer, because I still cannot believe, despite all those Friday night six packs or whatever with Jack Pollock, I still can't believe he and Plummer are on the same page. Mark, you're my brother, but come on, you stick a bag or pillowcase over Cheryl's head, and likely if I did that to
I was just going to say the same thing. I would not ever forget or forgive, if you would, well, maybe if you steal Kelly, I would, no, I'm kidding. You steal my wife and take her somewhere for a while, there's hard feelings the rest of my life.
Probably, yeah.
But isn't it, what's that saying? I'm going to butcher this, so help me figure it out. My enemy of my enemy is my worst enemy, or something like that?
He's my friend. The enemy of my enemy is my friend.
Oh, so I did it wrong anyway.
Yeah, but I get the sentiment, yeah.
Yeah. So, I don't know what the hell's going on there. It just goes all over. Plummer, being a little ballsy climbing the ladder. I saw that. I saw that happening.
Yeah. Mark, I can't blame the guy. If you and I had the money and the guts and could set up a ring, we would pretend to be the Dudley Boys. We would do the Dusty Rhodes spinning fist elbow thing.
We do it without a ring. We do it without a ring.
Yeah, that's true. We do it without a ring. Justin was having a good time, which good for him.
He looked like Sugar Ray there for a little bit. Those punches.
Yeah, and he's in good shape.
Sugar Ray or Plummer?
Probably both. Yeah, I imagine Sugar Ray's still in good shape, but Plummer's in great shape.
He is.
Yeah. This was a good match. It did what it needed to do. The drama was there. The only thing is, you mentioned the ladder. Why wasn't anybody DQ'd? They brought in tables. They brought in ladders.
Cowbells. Cowbells.
Yeah, and that's the thing, though, is the cowbell's illegal, which I don't get. Why did the referee have to be distracted for Samson to use the cowbell, but it was all right for Justin to jump off a ladder? And it bugs me a little bit.
Yeah. Pollock gets pinned by Jock, and you think, well, IWC folding up as Jock's going to go see Thomas J. Wolfe. And you know what the J stands for? Well, Lendl made sure that we remembered it was Jesus. And there was but there was never a bell. Right. There was never a bell. And then all of a sudden, you hear Wardlow's music from IWC hit, and the crowd goes apeshit. Wardlow comes out. See you later. And the rest of the locker room for IWC comes out, and IWC gets the win on Wardlow's back. And this is where I say I told you so.
Yeah, he came out and just cleaned house. The guys, the Regulators, are trying to cut him off on his way to the ring, and he was just kind of blowing through everybody till he got to the ring and made the final pin with his finisher. When he came out, I thought, well, of course. And I was trying to think where I heard this. Was it an internet rumor? But it was your prediction that it would be Wardlow. Nothing really was leaked. It was Mark's accurate prediction. Yeah. Two things I want to say to Nick. He's a great ring announcer. I will say Joe at least played it cool. Like, Joe was like, I get it. This could be my last day at this job. Nick, all right, I get it. You could have lost your job, but holy cow, man. Show some couth or come on, guys. I need this job.
Poor Lendl. He's not going to do our intro for us next time. Stop throwing him under the bus.
The other thing I want to say in all seriousness to Nick is it should have gone, not should have went. I think you're great at your job, but when you say should have went, oh man, my skin crawls. Went is the past tense. Gone is the past participle. It should have gone, not should have went.
What did he say? I don't. How?
No, that somebody should have went somewhere or something like that.
Oh,
but it should have gone, not should have went.
Oh, all right. Well, nonetheless. So IWC takes the win, and we find out that November 7th is John. Let's make them make an announcement because I didn't hear it.
Really? So after they won, Justin took the microphone and talked about, sort of the trying times, but it's about time we came back home. Something to that effect. I'd have to watch it again to kind of see exactly what the title of this next event is, but it's something to do with coming home. And it's November 7th, and it's at the old stomping grounds. They're going back to the Sports Time Complex?
Court Time Sports.
Court Time Sports, that's it.
You can't remember. We've been there for 7 years now.
About that, yeah. Court Time, not Sports Time. Court Time. That's it, yeah. So they're going to be back there.
The basketball court?
Yeah, that makes sense, yeah. No matches announced yet, to my understanding. Nothing I've seen yet. I haven't visited their website, though, since the event. But everybody was in the ring. Two things: Wardlow's really tall, and Katie Arquette's pretty short. They were standing next to each other, and there's quite the difference in height.
You can actually see that if you look at the thumbnail. Well, no, Wardlow, the thumbnail that I have, you guys can see already that Plummer and Wardlow are up on everybody's shoulders celebrating, and Katie's just next to somebody that's short. Yeah, so, wow, way to throw Katie under the bus. Thanks for coming on Can Crushers once, Katie, because now John's making fun of your shortness.
Katie, I love you. I really do. I remember getting an autograph from her because I am a big fan of hers, and she took a kick to the teeth by Britt Baker. And I said to her while she was signing my autograph, I said, wow, you took quite a kick to the teeth. She goes, yeah, I did. And I said, I know a dentist. And she stared holes right through me. And I took my autograph and left. That was hilarious. That was funny.
Lingered away. Sauntered away. Not lingered. Lingered would have meant you would have stayed there. Yeah. You sauntered away. Yeah.
I am a big fan of hers. I really am. I love her matches.
I agree. You know, I bust her ass about this, that, and the other thing. She's the reason why I am now on a streak of 105 days of this time hop app that she made me get that keeps reliving all my past Facebooks and Instagrams and everything. So, Katie, thanks for that. I'm addicted to it now. I don't know if I'm ever going to make the 3-year mark like you, but yeah.
And Katie, on a card full of dudes, you and Ella Shea stole the show in my book.
Yeah, I would agree. I would agree. All right, so let's rate this on a 6-pack of beer, John, and okay. I'll let you go first.
All right. So a 3-hour card, you figure there are 2 beers each hour. Hour number 2 earned both beers. Hour number 3 earned 1.5. Hour number 1 drops the average by not earning any beers. So I'm giving this a 3.5.
I completely agree with you. I love that. I really do. If anything, like I said, I was a little bit more of a fan of the tag team match than you. The most I could go is 4. But let's just stick together as you thought I wasn't going to be there with you, buddy. You thought, let's say it was a 3.5. And to me, it's a little bit of a disappointment because Winner Takes All is such a huge event that I expected maybe a little bit more or something. But who knows? Who knows what's for coming home? And then hopefully in December, to wrap it all up, he still has the Pittsburgh Classic. We'll see, though. We'll have to see what's up in the next couple weeks and months ahead. But damn it, I hope shit's back together because my favorite one's Reloaded, and that's in January. God damn it. So
yeah. And listeners, if you haven't checked out IWC, you have to. I know we didn't love this event, but I would say 90% of the time we absolutely love the events. I can't think of a time we gave them anything less than 5 beers, really.
Yeah.
They're a great promotion. It's good pro wrestling, guys. And if you tune into it, if you go to a card, you just may see some familiar things. What I mean by that is you'll see some of the big boys copying what these guys on the indies are doing. That's no joke. That's no exaggeration. It's good wrestling. If you love pro wrestling, you need to check out IWC if you're in the area, or get their network for $9.99 a month.
Yeah, IWC Wrestling, $9.99 a month. It goes back to 2012, so you're going to see the likes of AJ Styles, CM Punk, Elias, Wardlow now, Britt Baker now, Dalton Castle. The list can go on of the people, and those are the stars of today. But they also have had legends pop in. The Sandman's been there, Gilbert's been there. John, help me out. Honky Tonk Man, Ric Flair, Bret Hart,
Goldust, Roddy Piper.
Guys, they're there. They're there. They come and make these spot shows, and it's great. What IWC, it is the best. John, I'm going to say it's the best on the East Coast, without a doubt. I've been to a lot up and down, and they just, Plummer and Lendl and Dombrowski always say, oh, the best in the Pittsburgh area. Bar fucking none. Yeah. Expand your horizons, boys, because you guys are the best on the East Coast, and it's freaking phenomenal.
I absolutely agree. Pittsburgh, without question, East Coast, definitely you can make an argument for that.
So, all right, guys, that's our wrap-up of Winner Takes All. Quick little show for the wrap-up this time. Not much to talk about, but what?
Yeah, but again, I just want to reiterate, if you guys can make the November 7th card and you haven't been to an IWC event yet, I think you'll be pleased because they do a nice job.
Check us out all over the place. Every podcast hosting site we're on: iHeartRadio, Stitcher, iTunes, Google Play, Spotify. We haven't mentioned this in a while, so we have some time. All those big ones we're on. You can ask Alexa to play you, play us, or play you.
Well, me and you.
Yeah, our podcast, so you can listen to it on Alexa. Send us an email. We're going to get ready for another Ask Can Crushers, maybe in about a month. But, get the questions in, get them going. It's cancrusher69@gmail.com. Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, we're there too. It's all at cancrusher69. And, yeah, that's about it. John, you have anything you want to say as we hit the road?
No, that's about it.
All right, John. So remember, just because you're trash,
it doesn't mean you can't do great things. It's called a garbage can.
Not a garbage cannot.